$1,000. I think for most people, this is a good amount of money, especially considering all the things that you can use this money for. However, when it comes to YouTube, well, you might have to give that a little bit of thought. And so today, I'm going to be talking about the best $1,000 that I spent on YouTube so far, and the top 5 reasons how it's really helped me in spending this money. So let's see where all this $1,000 went. Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. On this channel, you'll learn how to be creative, and I'll teach you the tools you need to create. So be sure to hit the like and subscribe button to help the channel create more content like this. Okay, so if you're wondering what this best $1,000 that I spent on YouTube is, well, basically you're watching it right now because this is the Panasonic Lumix G85 4K camera. Now, this camera was actually released back in 2016. I got it in 2018. And at the time that I actually bought this camera, it was $999 or $1,000. And I got it from Amazon, and it came with an entire kit. You know, it came with a whole bunch of other things. It came with a Rode microphone, which I absolutely love. It came with the tripod, additional battery chargers, and also things like this, you know, extra lenses. So all of this came with the $1,000 that I spent. And this has absolutely changed pretty much everything that I do here on YouTube for 5 main reasons. Starting with the first and most obvious reason, and that is the quality. The qualitative difference from having a quote-unquote real camera versus using my smartphone, it's really like night and day. And even though phone cameras have gotten so good, there's definitely an advantage when using a real camera, and it mainly comes down to the overall quality of the lenses. Okay, so this is something that is really different when you're thinking like, you know, you have lenses like this, right? And there's so many different lenses you could buy. And when you think of a phone that has to pack all of that into these very small lenses, at a certain point, you're going to hit some type of limit. And with a camera, having lenses, having the whole body and technology that comes with it, it just sets it at a whole nother level. And so just because you have specs on a phone that could match a camera, i.e. 4K, high frame rate, all of those things, when it comes to the actual quality, you can tell a difference. And initially, I didn't think there was going to be a difference, you know, especially when I was just focused on the specs of a phone camera. But then whenever I got the Panasonic Lumix G85 and I saw the quality of my computer, even when I was initially looking at something like 1080p, which my phone could actually do 4K as well, and then I compared the 4K, and wow, there was such a huge difference. Things just look so much better. And even out to this day, I'm still using the kit lens that actually came with my camera, and it still looks excellent. Now, if I wanted to, I could buy multiple lenses that gives it just different looks, mostly the bokeh effect, you know, the blurry background. I could get lenses made for more macro shooting or wide angles. There's so many different options. And whenever I look at the footage that comes out of my camera now versus my phone camera, it's really hard for me to go back to using the phone camera unless I had to. And so that's the first and biggest difference, is the fact that the overall quality of the images coming out of this camera, well, it's just absolutely incredible. And so the second thing I've gotten out of spending $1,000 on this camera is I've learned brand new skills. So now I'm introduced to the world of videography and photography, and there's just so much there, and I've just barely scratched the surface on this. And whenever I was using my smartphone as my main camera, I was thinking, well, there can't really be too much difference, you know, whenever you're going to a real camera. But boy, was I wrong. There's just so much here to learn. And at the same time, this whole entire world of cameras, you could actually spend a whole lifetime on here. And that really excites me because I enjoy learning new things, especially when it allows me to be more creative. And at the same time, this is a skill that could be valuable for you in the future, because even though smartphones are getting better, the skill of being a really great videographer, cinematographer, or photographer, that's something that's always going to be there. And knowing how to use your camera, how to properly expose things, knowing how to set up your shots, how lenses work, how lighting works, there's just a lot there, and it really gives me motivation to continue to learn more, because this is a skill that I could definitely use for a lifetime. And so another really wonderful benefit that I did not expect with using this camera is the fact that it's allowed me to expand my community. So now I do have people who are using their cameras, who are videographers, photographers, and having discussions with them that I never would have had if I was just using my smartphone. And it's a world that really blows my mind, especially when I'm starting to connect with other people in this field, starting to look at a lot of other YouTube channels that I didn't know before. And it's just really expanded my whole world of geekiness now into this world of cameras. And it's a world that I really enjoy being in, because people who do own these cameras, they really have a different passion for it versus people who just use their smartphones. Now, I'm not saying that you can't love being a videographer or photographer by using your smartphone only, but whenever you see people who actually use a camera, they just have a different language, different things that they enjoy, and a lot of commonalities, and that's something that I really do enjoy. And it's just going to continually expand over time as I meet more and more people and as I get more skilled in this whole areas of cameras. And so the number 2 benefit I've gotten out of this that I did not expect whenever I got this camera is that, well, you can actually make more money from it. So as I stated a little bit earlier, this is a skill that you could actually use out there in the real world. Whether you're going to freelance, start a business, or have a career in this whole world of videography or photography, it's definitely there. And even if the equipment does change in the future, that whole skill of doing this, it really won't change. Which leads me to another thing. If your channel uses a lot of this camera gear and the equipment that surrounds it, well, now you have an audience for it. So if brands are looking for people to partner with, well, your channel could be it, because now they see that you have a potential audience that you can market and sell to, and now you have another potential revenue income. And not only that, but you could also create your own products surrounding the camera gear that you have. So if you get really good at it, you can create courses for photography, videography, cinematography, and you could sell that on your own. And then finally, you could also do other things like do partnerships with other YouTube creators as well, or other influencers in your new niche of camera and camera equipment. So that's another potential revenue stream. So all of these things come together by helping you potentially make even more money with all the new things that you've learned and all the new community that you've created by using these new cameras. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. And so the number 1 thing that I've gotten out of spending $1,000 on this Panasonic G85 is creativity. Whenever I got this camera, it absolutely supercharged my creativity, even more so than I had before when I was using my smartphone as my main camera. There's just something about having this camera, seeing the overall quality, the feel of it, learning everything, the community, all those things that I discussed earlier. It's just a culmination of that. And the overall idea of just wanting to create, loving to create, it just adds a sense of fulfillment that I don't really get in other areas. And at the same time, it gives you something else to do, okay? Something else to do besides going to your normal career or doing your normal business, because you have a way now to expand your creativity. And when you have a tool like this that just really serves to improve that, there's really no better feeling that comes out of that. And so those are my top 5 things that I've gotten out of this $1,000, which is currently the best thing that I've spent here on YouTube, and I'm reaping the rewards of it. And I don't think I'm ever going to go back. I'm going to continually improve my skills, get more camera gear and equipment, and obviously share that with you, providing you with better quality and just more creativity. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below if you own this camera or any other cameras. And if you did want to see more of my camera and gear reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.